Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, well, my name is Prince. So this tutorial is a continuation of our Python Pandas series that we began earlier. So in this tutorial, we'll learn how to identify missing values within our data set. Okay, so I'll simply go ahead and actually paste this data set that I've been working with right here. Okay, so this data set, I'll just go and do a df. You can see we have that data set right there. Okay, so we actually have some values that are missing. Okay, so let me just run this cell again, and we can see we have that fixed. Okay, so it was because I ran it before making this tutorial, that's why it had that error. So now that we can see that all the data frame is there, well, let's go ahead and actually see how we can identify missing values within our data. So right now we can just do a df, or if you want to work with a series, you can select the series, but in this case we just working with the data frame because we want to identify all the missing values within our data frame. Okay, so this just say this is NA. So we just run this, and then we get all back. We get the data frame back with each column being each cell being false. It is false because there are no missing values within our data set. So if there are missing values, then we'll have the sum of this to be true because it's not a number, will evaluate to true. Okay, so it's not that is NA doesn't only work with numbers. So whenever you have a missing value, it will evaluate to true, but now we don't have any missing value, so it's all false. So let's go ahead and actually create some missing value. So to do this, I'm going to import in another library called Pandas. So just say import import numpy. Okay, so import numpy as np. So numpy is just another library in Python that stands for numeric Python. So I'm going to use that library to create some missing values within our dataset. So just say numpy.nan. So this will create not a number, and just a missing value. Okay, which is just missing values in Python Pandas. So np.nan. Also, let's go ahead and actually create another missing value right here. So np.nan. Okay, run that cell, and then whenever you run is NA, we can find that some of them are true. The ones which are true are the columns that are having NAN. All of them evaluated to true because these are missing values. So NAN stands for not a number, and it is used to identify columns that are having missing values. So that's how you can identify columns having missing values. So another way to do it is say the df.is now. So this will be true for all the columns that are having missing values. So this is another version of this. Okay, so we can also use the df.is not NA. So not NA will evaluate to true that all columns that are not having missing values. So also all the columns that do not have missing values evaluate to true, and all the columns that have missing values evaluate to false. So whenever you want to select columns that have missing values, you would like to use not NA. Okay, so now that we have looked at that, let's go ahead and actually see how we can deal with missing string value. So for example, let me just remove this string. You can see you have here a missing string value. So whenever I run this, we should get not NA should not be identity, should not be a not NA will not be able to identify missing strings, because strings, an empty space is considered as a character in Python, right? So the is NA, you can see at this column right here, it is actually true despite of us having that missing value, a missing string, right? So now one way to do it, it's actually here, right? My bad. So it's here, you can see we have that missing string, but it says that it is not a missing value, and missing value is false. Okay, so now one way we can do that is that we need to replace the empty strings or other characters with something known as the df.replace. So df.replace, so the df.replace, we can just replace an empty string, you specify what you want to replace, and the new value that you want to replace it with. So we want to replace an empty string with numpy.nan. So we run this, so we have replaced all missing columns with all empty strings with spaces with numpy.an. So you can see that previously we were having a space right here, but now we have an NAN value. So from here we can be able to also identify that column as being a missing column. So you can just go df.isNA. So now this should just evaluate to true let me make sure I do something. So the reason why it didn't work for me down here is that I also need to reassign this back to df. Okay, so I need to reassign this back to df. So now that I have done that, you can see now this is an is true, so that is a missing value. Okay, because we want to replace empty string, because you don't want empty strings within your data. It will cause your data to be wrong in case you're running a machine learning model or you're doing visualization. It will just bring some errors to your program, whatever we are creating. So you have to also watch out for empty strings, other characters. We'll discuss any replace method in detail in the future videos, but let me also tell you, for example, if it was a dash here and you want to replace the dash, so you can just say replace this specific dash. Okay, so let me just make that fix that error. So this will just be a dash, right? So now we just run again our data frame, and then whenever we reach this place, now we can replace the dash with an n, and whenever we run it, we can get is an n. I'll just run this. You can see that this is actually for this specific column right here, the one which was having the string. So we have replaced it with the one which was having an empty string. This one right here, we have replaced it with a dash, and we have simply replaced a dash with an n. Whenever we run our code, we see that it is also considered as not as a missing value. Okay, so that's how you can specify different characters and replace them. We'll be talking about the replace method in depth in the future tutorials, but this is how you can replace missing values, okay, in using Pandas. So in the next tutorial, I'll show you how to this time we have just learned how to identify missing values. So in the next tutorial, I'll show you how to actually replace the missing values with valid data, or how to drop out columns that are having missing value entirely. So that's what we'll be discussing in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching this tutorial. If you find this helpful, please kindly consider subscribing to this channel and giving this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. See you in the next tutorial.